What up, Shredder? Too many times I've watched my friend Alex roll up to the top of the jump line, his first run of the season, and throw down a backside 7 right out of the gate without warming up at all, and suffer the consequences. I don't want that to be you. It's that time of year again. It's time to pull out the snowboard gear, watch the old videos, and count down the days until you're doing what you love to do. Flying down the mountain on a piece of wood, shredding early season conditions, and jumping dirt gaps like a bat out of hell. The only thing is, some of us forget just how athletic snowboarding is. We think we can sit on the couch eating Cheetos all summer long and get all of our skills back the first run. The truth is, this is a recipe for disaster. Our bones are weak, our cardio sucks, and it's a risk for getting injured and ruining the season. Instead, there's a few key things we can focus on right now to prepare like a pro. So when that first snowfall hits, we feel like we picked up right where we left off. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for everything we have coming up this season. Depending on where you live, your first day back snowboarding might have been 9 months ago or 9 weeks ago. I was lucky enough to ride in May on my birthday this year with Ben and Dan from Shred School. We had everything from dirt gaps to step downs to pow turns in a time of year that felt like it should have been summertime. Seriously, I rode in a snowstorm on my birthday in late May. I believe that's what they call living the dream. But growing up, my off-season in Pennsylvania might have stretched from the beginning of March all the way to December. So over the years, I've learned a couple ways to train to speed up my return to form. Here's 4 of the weirder ways, and be sure to stick around for number 4 because most people miss this. Number 1, ninja cardio. Everyone's first thought is to do squats and build up strength for snowboarding. Now, I do highly recommend squats, but I don't know about you, the first thing I notice on day 1 is how out of breath I get. And it's true we're at high altitude in Colorado, but combine that with early season conditions and non-stop lapping, and I'm worn out before we get to the bottom of the mountain. Real quick, drop your home mountain in the comments and let me know what elevation you're dealing with. Now, I hate running with a passion. Even the sound of the word cardio makes me want to vomit. So I'm not going to convince you to become a jogger, although if that works for you, more power to you. I've learned I need something that keeps my mind occupied so I forget that I'm working out my lungs. Surprisingly, skateboarding is a great cardio workout. Riding ramps in particular is a great way to prepare for snowboarding. Check out the link to Ramp Rebels if you want the step-by-step on how to get started. Now, the other one I've added is martial arts and sparring. When someone's trying to punch you in the face or strangle you with a rear naked choke, you don't really have time to stop and think about how much you hate cardio. You just stay in the moment. Once you start sparring in the regular, by the time you get to the mountain, it turns out you have a lot more stamina than you used to have. Sparring is great for agility and pop as you're constantly on your toes. Next thing you know, you're dodging punches and those annoying skiers who take up the whole run on the white ribbon of death. Plus, your wife won't question you as much when you come back from the mountain covered in bruises, because now that's just the norm. Number 2, hippie flexibility. Ever notice how the first day back feels like you're wearing a full body cast? That's because we spend all summer sitting in our computers pretending to work or hunched over our phones pretending we're not addicted to social media. Now, you might be thinking yoga is for hippies and 20-year-old college students, and you'd be right. But years ago, I started doing yoga. Not the peaceful kind, but power yoga. The kind where you're sweating and cursing under your breath in a 100-degree room. Trust me, it helps when you're trying to tweak that method or poke an indie on early season side hits. I have some friends who can't even reach their grabs anymore. You know who you are. Get to the yoga studio. The older you get, the more mobility matters. Number 3, mental warfare. You know what's scarier than coming up short on an early season dirt gap, not knowing if you're going to ragdoll over a rock? Not much. That's what. But here's the secret the pros won't tell you. We're all scared sometimes, especially if you're pushing yourself. Before I headed up to the mountain for my birthday this year, I engaged in my daily ritual, getting in ice cold water for 3 minutes at a time. Not because I'm trying to be Wim Hof, but because if you can mentally handle jumping in freezing water at 6 a.m. day after day, that sketchy line doesn't seem so bad anymore. Train your body and brain to stay calm in chaos. And the next time you're staring down that jump or backcountry line that you're not sure if you have the guts to do, you might find out you're stronger than you think. Number 4, the secret weapon. Getting better at snowboarding is about having fun. But if you just have a couple goals in the back of your mind, it can make the difference between staying stuck at your current level forever and consistently getting better. We're not trying to turn your next trick into corporate KPIs, but it turns out that setting and achieving goals is actually really fun. It keeps you motivated and you end up more stoked than without goals. Now I show you how to practice like the pros and use a shred journal to track your goals and riding to consistently get better inside of shred school. So check out the link below if you don't know how that's done. Otherwise, try to pick one big season goal, one trick you want to learn before that last spring day. And then try and pick one small thing to work on every time you go to the mountain that's a building block for that big goal. That will help you focus and improve. So that's it, but I need to know, what's your weirdest preseason ritual? Give me some advice in the comments below and let me know how you're living the dream. And hey Al, if you're watching this, maybe try some of these before setting that back 7 first run this year. Peace out, Shredder.